Okay, so another kind of quiet sideways chop fest day. It's trading a lot like an August trading day. Low volume, not a lot of action, but you know what? I did was able to squeeze out a few decent trades. It's just been a lot more like work lately. Sometimes trading comes easy, and sometimes I have to be in front of my screens all day to eke out a living. And it's right now it's the latter. But that's kind of typical of summer, so keep that in mind. You can see the SPY there, just kind of a narrow candle on an intraday basis, um, gapped up a bit, chop, 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 right? Just total chop. I would note real quick that Apple closed at 150.05. As I'm making this video, it's gapping in after hours on earnings. It's at 158, so that might give the market an extra boost tomorrow. So here's the list that I have. VSTM is just, there's nothing really special, no extra volume. I mean, decent volume the last few days, but it's just coiling. So I really kind of needed to break this kind of little trend line right here and get up to this area, and then it might break out and head to 4. I'm not even sure why I noticed that. I think it was getting some extra volume spikes today that just kind of caught my attention. I looked at the chart and said, you know what, that daily chart's starting to look pretty coiled. BLMN. Didn't quite get down below that 17 like I wanted, but you see three kind of little bottoming tails here. It's finding buyers, so maybe this thing takes off to the upside tomorrow. There it is on 15s. I don't have any kind of trigger price in it, but I'm actually watching it for a potential long tomorrow. CAPR found some support at the 20-day today. No trades in it for me, but I'm going to watch it tomorrow for a potential long. ORPN, this is a handsome chart. Big spike, big spike, big spike, and certainly looks good over this kind of trend line or flag pattern here, up over 78, 79 cents. Might just rip to 90 or a dollar. Who knows? I don't generally trade the sub-dollar stocks, and I probably won't trade this one tomorrow, but I saw the chart and I thought, you know what, I'm going to put that chart out there so people that do trade the sub-dollar stocks can see it, because it does look pretty good. XXII, got a late day trade in this one. It got news here of I believe it was a stake, like a 10% stake in the company, and then it got patent news, and I watched it, but I didn't do anything with it. And when it got patent news, I went in and jumped in on this spike and just sold into the spike. But it's really interesting to me for tomorrow. I don't have a trigger price. You could argue that it's still kind of extended. Let's look at it on 15s. I don't know. If it can get back through $2, it looks really good on the weekly, right? But we'll see. I'm just gonna watch it. It had a couple nice news blurbs today. They are running on the tobacco, the FDA, possibly. I don't know the ins and outs of the story, but possibly going to mandate a non-addictive level of nicotine in cigarettes, and this company is poised to profit from that. Do your own research, because I'm a day trader. I don't hold overnight. Always joke around that I don't even hold my wife overnight, but this one is kind of in the news, and you can certainly see the extra volume here, so it's one to watch. MTBC, also called this as a late day trade over this flag right here. It was flagging. I looked at the daily and thought, you know what, this is, and I'll bring over a small version of the daily. I thought, hey, over this flag, this one might close strong and even run after hours. So I call it 148, 142 stop. And I was looking at this is a smaller version of the daily chart, and you could see that it was kind of breaking out, and it actually is running in after hours too. It's in the 170s. So probably going to gap up tomorrow, and we'll see if it gives a gap and go setup. But certainly an interesting daily. And anyway, I showed you this little flag that I called 148, 142, and I had a nice late day trade in that one. So this is what I mean. I spent most of the day not trading much, and then got late day trades in XXII and MTBC. So sometimes, man, when there's nothing going on, you got to hang out and hope for a news play or a setup or something, and that's kind of what I did. I'm actually putting dry ships on the watch list. You can't tell anything by this chart, obviously, because it says it went to 800,000 or whatever it was back here, which smashes all these candles together. So let me go to 15-minute candles. Remember, the other day it kept popping and halting, pop, halt, and ended up. So it got major movement back here from whatever it was, like $1.50 to almost $4, and then came all the way back down and has done nothing ever since. Then today, all of a sudden, starts getting volume again. So I do want to watch this one. I actually traded this one today and made a few bucks, but again, let me show you what I did today. There, I tweeted this on StockTwits. How long until dry ships gets back to that November high? That was just me being an idiot. I thought it was funny, sarcasm, blah blah blah. I can't tell you how many people now think I'm an idiot because they thought I was serious. So what are you gonna do? Sarcasm, I guess, when you write it, it's harder to tell. But if you know anything about dry ships, you should have known I was being funny, or maybe I wasn't being funny, depending on the recipient of the tweet. But I should say you should have known I was being sarcastic. Speaking of dry ships, I don't know. I just don't feel right not putting up this picture. Whenever I talk about dry ships, I try to show one of their best vessels. So anyway, dry ships to me, because it had this squeeze to almost $4 and it's found support. I think it's worth watching. It might get another little kind of mini squeeze tomorrow. Let me see if that's everything I wanted to show. Well, it is on dry ships. Okay, so let's keep going. NPTN, let's go to the daily. It did get a volume spike today. See that extra volume? It's bigger volume than really for the whole past month. Needed to kind of get up over these recent highs. But on an intraday basis, you can see that's a really nice move, and it tailed off at the end. That just puts it on my radar. It's a potential trade tomorrow. Under Armour, this is all-time lows. I'll go to the monthly just to prove it. So there's the monthly of Under Armour UA. There's the weekly. So I don't want people to look at this and think, wow, he thinks that's a bullish chart. But I do think this is a former Wall Street darling. It's Under Armour. I do think at some point, value players are going to step in and start nibbling. This looks like an obvious short because it's, gapping to all-time lows, gapped down today and sold, pretty much closed out at the lows of the day. But anytime anything looks obvious in the market, usually it goes the other way. I'm not basing any money on that. I'll see if it gives me a setup. But, I wouldn't mind seeing Under Armour go down 2 or 3 more days. And then if it gets down around $10, I think value players will step in. But again, I don't place any bets on that because I don't hold overnight. All right. Anyway, so I'm going to start watching UA tomorrow. It may not give me a trade for the next month. I don't know, but it's worth watching. Believe it or not, speaking of ugly charts, I actually like this PIXY a lot. Took a trade on it today in chat, somewhere around 480. It went nicely back up through 5. That's not a huge trade, but I made a couple hundred on it. New issue that came out here on June 30th. Let's see, it opened at 630, went up through 1150 in about a week, and the bottom just fell out. And now closing below 5. Speaking of value players, I think value players step in. And one of these days, it might not be tomorrow. Anything can happen, right? But I think this is, and that's a nice size candle compared to the last 4 or 5. Extra volume. So this is a pretty good setup for a snapback bounce. Could give another red day tomorrow, go down to 3. And then it'll be on like my top watch the next day. So I do want to watch PIXY for a potential bounce. And then lastly, I've got DISCA, which if I pan out here, this thing is got really good support right below 24. Okay, it used to be resistance back here, then it finally broke through, and now it's come down. It's got really good support. And another thing I like about this is that it's come pretty far pretty quickly to get there. That's another good recipe for a snapback bounce. I don't have any kind of, oh, here's the price I'm going to buy it, I'm going to watch it trade. I wouldn't mind seeing an early sell-off and a nasty flush through 24, and then I'd be looking for a reversal. But I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I have to watch it trade. And that's pretty much how I make my living. I have watch lists. I add gap plays to the watch list in the morning. If one of my gap plays or one of my overnight watch lists sets up to one of the A+ setups that we teach in the course, I put some money to work. I scale out quickly on some, tighten the stop on the rest, and that is why I have such a good equity curve and such a good win rate, because I sit in cash unless and until those things line up, right? I'm done babbling. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.